So I ran a short report on the American elections, right? And I will be here or make a comment. We said they would like to know the differences between the Ghanaian election or the similarities as well in the Ghanaian election and then the American election. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. So I decided to put together this video to talk about just that. I also know that, there's a lot we can talk about, but kakrana I to many there, especially those areas that I think will be of interest to you. Let's talk about that, and then let's see some of the lessons that we can learn from the American elections.
The Fox News Decision Desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
So let's start from the polling. In America, what they do is, we all know that election date is November 5th. And in Ghana, so election date is December 7th. Okay. But what happens is in America, 2 weeks before November 5th, no more open poll. So what it means is, we are citizens, our person 2 weeks before time, what we have is what we call the special voting. Special voting, we know it's open to certain category of people. Maybe security for, and say journalists for, opportunity. About special voting. But the American, they say, open 2 weeks now is open to everybody, right? Now, there's some lessons that I think we can draw from that. So we talk about that. So that is the first similarities or differences. Depending on how you want to look at it. America for the end, 2 weeks before November 5th. And again, at the end of the day, we don't do that. Even though we also have our own way of doing special voting and before the main election day. Now, secondly, let's talk about the ballot paper. Now, the ballot paper is very simplified. You have the picture of the presidential candidate and as a parliamentary candidate, and our party logo and so also. And then there is a space for you to thumbprint, right? So basically, the what's is the most important. I don't know. But America for the they are quite comprehensive and detailed. They have a lot of information on it, and there's a reason behind that, which I will explain. Now, the money a bit comprehensive, and I say, American say a bit complex. American say the American election has different categories, right? We have the federal election, which is the presidents, and then the vice. Beyond that, there's the state elections. Beyond that, there's also the county elections. Yes, so these are the three areas. We have the federal, the states, and then the county. Okay, I don't know Kodan and I said, I don't know which federal and it is the president and the vice. Over state now, you are voting for your senator, you are voting for your House representatives, you are voting for the governor, and then also the state level. And the state level also sometimes they have some amendment that they vote on. In the legislative council of a particular state, the state is Georgia for to say this particular law we want to amend it. Now a common legislative council or my debate or my to say election they put it on the election no matter to swaba. They also have the county offices, in the county clerk, county secretary, and also to swaba. But I don't know what you have to do is a new beyond or when you're to Sabani, right? You have to be a resident of the county, you have to be a resident of the state, and so now you have to state any county about to know and also the TNO. What do you compare Ghana, Diana? What we have in Ghana is the parliamentary election, right? So you have to be a resident or a registered voter in a particular constituency before you can vote for a specific or particular candidate. What I also observe in the county I'm in the state I'm in, what I observe is that most of the elections are held indoors. In the maybe schools cafeteria, schools gyms, gymnasium, maybe on basketball near there, and open places in the school, right? We real school no more. Any big spaces they utilize those spaces. But when you compare Ghana and Tessa, right? The Ghana and about one I'm observing. And Tessa, about what they come here saying so you're about 10. But I'm also not saying it's America about indoors. That's why I'm saying if you have a different experience from a different state, put it in the comment and let's see what is going on there. But what I observe is what I'm speaking to. And only say most of the elections are maybe whom here I'm observing here, and even be a manco, but polling station list of the buy near the indoors. So this is the most tricky part with the American elections as compared to Ghana. In Ghana, we practice what we call democracy, right? But when it comes to electing presidents, the Americans have a different system. The American system is called a constitutional republic. They use the constitutional republic system of electing their presidents. Now, Ghana, the NDHN said, we are electoral commission akabani in album. Total valid votes cast. Electoral commission by counting. Well, be 50% plus 1 of a president.
Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC had 4,713,277 votes, being 44.40%. Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum of the PPP had 105,682 votes, being 1%. Mr. Nana Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party had 5,716,026 votes, being 53.85%. On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
We call it the simple majority, right? But America forces the minister. They also have that thing, which is the popular vote, right? We are citizens. However, they have what we call the presidential electors. And I said, electoral college. Now, sir, electoral college in here, across all the states, we have 538 electoral college in the states. It is divided among each state depending on population, right? So they look at the last or the recent population census, then they allocate a specific number of electoral college to a specific state. So that is what happens. Now, even though we have the popular vote, what happens is states are obeying, you are assigned the electoral college vote in that state, right? So what you should be aiming for, because Medicare said they have presidential electors, so what you should be aiming for as a presidential candidate is to win as many electoral votes as possible. And no, and at 2016, Donald Trump, the BD president, even though he had less popular votes than Hillary Clinton, right? And after the 538, you should be aiming at getting at least 270. When you're 270, you become the president because you've secured more than half of the total electoral votes, right? Okay. So with these two examples or scenarios, then a bit film. The mechanism, Ghana, we can improve on our electoral system, right? Or we should be aiming at improving it at least. Say a bit BBF America for the one. There was special voting, which means you be balloting in them a day before, or I think some days before a many people go to Aba. So my question is, are there any BMA will be Ankongo to? Abana in December, no, it's okay, but I think constitutional amendment now, we should have a second look at it, right? Now, if I'm ready, somewhere like November, and I be so that whoever becomes the president in January, no, and then the current president, they will have enough time to do the transition. That's to call to Kane, we are for her, we declare be for her in some process, it's me and I go through some process no smoothly. And then the last thing I would say, when they say DC and two DC Swaba Ghana, right? If say you jitum that should be answered DC about Swaba, I believe we can learn from the American system, right? And you can say yes, I organize it. I think say you can say yes, I organize it. Another election, my DC about we can add it to the presidential elections. Yeah, you be sending the parliamentary the account. We can add it to the presidential and parliamentary election, such that to about to president, what to MP, a member of parliament, what to DC users to MC account. If we are kind, The kind of banner, you won't say Nipas missing anybody president, when anybody MP, when anybody DCO, MC, and be hard to watch, right? I don't think we have to spend another money to go through that process all over. I mean, as a separate elections. Yeah, the can't home send America for no more than Omo president, Omo senator, Omo governor, Omo house representative, then we move on. It's what would be our question, wanting to know the differences between the Ghanaian election and the American elections. This is the few that I can share with you. Like I said, there's a whole lot we can talk about. But one way you end up, I don't come on baby. So let's take this. If you like this video, if you find value in this video, I will encourage you subscribe to the channel. That is very important to us. And then like the video and let's hear your thoughts in the comment section.